New arrests in the case of the woman who allegedly shot and killed her husband, who was a National Guardsman. Why police took Jennifer Gledhill's parents into custody.
People who live in this West Valley City neighborhood claim a neighbor has been terrorizing the community. Just ahead, we'll introduce you to that man.
State and local leaders announced their hope to rename Highway 102 in Tremonton. We'll have that conversation coming up. A local theater here in Kaysville helps give back to their community, but this time they're helping one of their own.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Evans. We begin Fox 13 News at 9 on Utah 16 with breaking news. Police are investigating a crash in Salt Lake City where a driver hit a man. Police say this is happening near 1160 South State Street, just around the corner from Smith's Ballpark. We have a live look at the scene. I think we do, at any rate. The victim, we are told, here it is, the live look at the scene. The victim was hospitalized with potentially critical injuries. The crash remains under investigation. Drivers are urged to avoid this area while police are on scene. In the Middle East, Israel launched strikes against military targets in Iran early Saturday. Those exact targets have not yet been made clear. Iranian state military reported explosions could be heard around Tehran. The Israeli military said, quote, "It has the right to and the duty to respond."
The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel.
Iran has launched 2 ballistic missile attacks on Israel in recent months. Iran had been bracing for an Israeli military response for weeks, but it's not clear whether it will strike back in response. We have exclusive new details in the search for Matthew Johnson, the Utah National Guardsman who police believe was killed by his wife Jennifer Gledhill. His body has not yet been found. Fox 13 News sat down with Johnson's ex-wife, Crystal Peterson, who says he was a great stepfather to her boys. She says her oldest is still into golf thanks to Johnson. She reminds everyone of the impact this tragedy will have on their family.
I mean, look at Matt's poor kids. Matt's kids now have essentially lost grandparents, mom, dad. Like, are you kidding me? It's sad enough to lose one person in your family and their whole family is just like gone. It's sad. It's real sad.
Yesterday, Gledhill's parents were taken into custody and face multiple obstruction of justice charges for allegedly helping their daughter clean up the bedroom where she is accused of shooting Johnson while he slept. Gledhill was in court again this afternoon. Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree was there.
Conwood Heights police arrested Jennifer Gledhill on October 2nd. They say she shot Matthew Johnson in the head and buried his body.
My client's already lost her liberty. At this point in time, it feels like the state and the city, the police agency that investigated this, are trying to set everything that my client loves on fire.
Friday, Gledhill's attorney asked the court to consider allowing the mother to talk to her 3 kids who are in DCFS custody, but the judge denied that.
I think the overall frustrating thing for me in all of this is what this boils down to is this court is, I think, the inappropriate place to handle communication between my client and her children.
On Thursday, Cottonwood Heights police arrested Jennifer Gledhill's mother and father, Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill. They say they helped their daughter cover up the murder.
It would have been nice if they cooperated early on. That could have helped us in our investigation, but they chose to not assist us.
According to court documents, a neighbor saw the parents cleaning the home for hours late into the evening on September 24th. Sergeant Gary Young says the parents bought a new mattress for their daughter, and on serving a search warrant, detectives said they found a plastic tote with a gun box wrapped in a child's onesie inside. The DA's office says the box matched the gun Gledhill showed to the man who informed police. Meanwhile, police are still searching for Johnson's body.
We have been out looking every day. We will continue our efforts to search until weather will prevent us from doing so. I can't say it's taxing on us. We have, devoted our full-time investigation to this, and we hope to find his remains and bring this case to a close.
Gledhill's next court appearance will be a scheduling conference on November 22nd. In Salt Lake City, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We're learning more about the people involved in a deadly wrong-way crash on I-15 in Millard County last week. One of the drivers was a Salt Lake City firefighter named Andy Maxwell. He remains in critical condition. He was with his 3 children in the truck. One of them, a 10-year-old boy, died. The driver of the other car was 55-year-old Melissa McDonald from North Miami, Florida. A GoFundMe page for Maxwell has raised more than $22,000. We have a link to it at fox13now.com. Investigators say the house fire in Holiday yesterday was started by a juvenile playing with a lighter. Multiple people, including several first responders, were hurt. Several families are displaced. The home is expected to be a total loss. South Salt Lake police say a man in his mid-30s died in an industrial accident today. It happened at Diamond Tree Experts near 3600 South 500 West. Police and workplace safety officials are investigating. The name of the victim has not yet been released. A former Ogden Police Department school resource officer is out on bail tonight after being arrested on several charges, including sexual exploitation of a minor. The Davis County Sheriff's Office is now investigating.
We don't have reason to believe at this time that there were children in his capacity as a school resource officer involved in this particular case. We understand that parents have some concerns. We understand that this is a very sensitive case, especially involving a law enforcement officer, and we are very respectful of that. But a lot of things did occur right in this situation. Ogden PD has been very transparent from the beginning and immediately turned this over.
On October 16th, Ogden police learned Officer Colton Johansson told another law enforcement agency things that implicated him in criminal activity. Yesterday, the Davis County Sheriff's Office charged Johansson with sexual exploitation of a minor, tampering with evidence, and official misconduct. Johansson has been fired from the Ogden Police Department.
Friday, the announcement was made about renaming Highway 102 after the Borgstrom brothers. I'm Fox 13 News reporter Avery Klanowski in Tremonton. I spoke with the family about why this is so significant.
Our freedoms are not free. Five brothers went to war, but 4 of them died like in a 6-month period of time all over the world. And it's pretty incredible that it's not more well known.
The state says no other family in the nation sacrificed more for the Allied cause than the Borgstrom brothers.
Thank you to the Borgstrom family for making this country the best place on earth.
In the upcoming legislative session, a bill to rename Highway 102 to the Borgstrom Brothers Memorial Highway is on the table.
The forgotten story of the Borgstrom family. The forgotten story. See, we'd forgotten.
It's sad, but it's an honor.
Governor Spencer Cox, along with other passionate leaders, say this family must be remembered.
Army Private Leroy E. Borgstrom.
I want everybody who drives on that highway ever, who lives here, who doesn't live here, to see those signs and pull out their phones, the things that are making us forget, by the way, and Google, who are the Borgstrom brothers? Who's the Borgstrom family?
Borgstroms are the only 4 Gold Star family in this country. And I don't think very many people even know who they are.
Norma Jean thinks her dad, Boyd Borgstrom, would be grateful for the renaming of the highway.
He would just be thrilled beyond belief. I mean, that this whole community would remember them for all these years. And I'm sure they're here today.
Commemorating the Borgstrom family and their patriotic story that lives on.
Oh, I don't even think we can explain how special it is. We just want people to remember, remember, remember.
In Tremont, Avery Klanowski, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All gave some gave all. 4-star, Gold Star family. The only one in the country, the Borgstrom brothers.
Pretty beautiful.
Yep, we will not forget. Beautiful night out there.
Yeah, really nice night out here. I'm camouflaging in with this background here. We've got a really pretty sunset. We had a lot of high clouds around, some ice crystals in the sky made for beautiful colors tonight. A little bit of haze throughout the evening here, but temperatures are beginning to cool off. It won't be as cold as last night. Our weather sensor here at the airport having a little bit of trouble, but it's about 54 degrees. But it's 52 here in Ogden and 48 in Provo. There's the high clouds that we had come in earlier, so we'll still see some partly cloudy skies tonight, but it should begin to clear out by the morning and things should be pretty quiet going into the weekend here. So we do have a really nice weekend on tap for you. Beautiful weather, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Winds are going to pick up on Sunday, and really you'll feel the wind on Monday, which is not great timing if you're getting your Halloween decorations out there. So make sure you secure those. Monday you could see wind gusts 45 miles per hour, so that could be problematic for Halloween decorations. And then our storm really moves in late Monday night into Tuesday, and that's where we'll have wet weather, and it's going to get very cold. So enjoy the weekend. Our temperatures will be pretty mild. 48 now in Provo, and we're still in the 50s in Moab and 60s in St. George. So a nice evening. So this morning we got down to about 40 degrees. We should be in the mid 40s by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. So coming up, we'll take a look at the forecast for the weekend and we'll talk about that next storm.
I came in going, I have the will of like God to go into this school. I can do this. But when it came to junior year this year, I feel like I'm almost burnt out at a certain point.
The pressure on teens to achieve and be exceptional can be overwhelming. We'll talk with students at the #1 rated high school in Utah in terms of academics about how they handle intense pressure. Coming up. As we continue to look at the pressures on Utah teens, tonight we examine the pressure on those who are high achievers. Getting straight A's, being a captain on the football team, having a starring role in the school musical. For those teens who feel driven to achieve, the pressures can be crushing. Earlier this week, we spoke to a group of high-achieving students at the Utah County Academy of Science in Orem. How many of you would consider yourselves very highly strung, very tightly wound? Okay, raise your hands good and high. Okay, only 2 out of this whole group of students. Asher, no? Okay. Charlie, no? A little bit? Okay, well that would be right here. Okay. How many of you would consider yourself pretty laid back? Pretty laid back, and Charlie, you can go like this again. Pretty laid back. Utah County Academy of Science, or UCAS, is the #1 rated high school in the state, as determined by Niche, a ranking and review website. So these students know stress. How tough is it here? How tough is it to be a student at UCAS? Ruben, tell us, how tough is it?
A lot of the courses here at UCAS are actually very rigorous. A lot of the classes that I have in particular, they involve a lot of doing stuff. Instead of just, here is a lecture, here's a lesson, now learn it, you actually get to apply it in the class. And I think like just that application, learning and doing can be a really big challenge.
I came in going, I have the will of like God to go into this school. I can do this. But when it came to junior year this year, I feel like I'm almost burnt out at a certain point.
With a student body of 556, the ratio of students to teachers is 15-1.
My class is a lot of project-based. I teach political science. And so one of the things that we did this year is to give them a project that they had to go out to the community and find something to do. Because I want my students, when I look at a job that I want to do, my job is to help them be where they want to be in life and to make a difference in this world wherever they're at.
There is no question the stress on students at UCAS can be intense.
The high achievers feel overwhelmed and feel like I have to just work really hard, and some of them are able to focus more on school and some activities. Middle achievers are trying to balance, I've got piano and I've got church and I've got all of these other activities and I'm squeezing them in, and I want my screen time before I go to bed. Screen time and phones have created mayhem.
Dr. Doug Goldsmith says the stress is really getting to the junior high school crowd.
But I'm hearing from 7th and 8th graders that are panicked. I just flunked my math test today and I'm not going to be able to go to college. And it's taking a lot of work therapeutically to help them understand that 7th and 8th grade is practice and preparation for 9th grade, and that will count.
Dr. Goldsmith says a key to reducing pressure on teens is scheduling from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
And as they start to put the schedule together, two things happen. One is they realize this isn't going to work and I've got to be at bed by 9 o'clock and I'm not going to get everything done. Or they realize I get this done and I'm actually going to have time for my screens and my friends after dinner. There will be free time. And they can start to organize themselves better. That's a piece that the parents need to be helping with.
Guy, what do you want to be when you grow up?
What do I want to be? I want to be Mr. Furlow. That's what I want. Yeah, I got 3 on my list. Mr. Furlow, biomedical engineer, and world domination.
I'm thinking about being a teacher, so like Mr. Furlow, and also a corporate lawyer. I really want to become a marine biologist.
I'm leaning probably towards like mechanical engineering or some kind of engineering.
I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to go into business management. Yeah, I just want to make a lot of money, basically.
I have no idea. I've still got time, and so I'm still looking into stuff.
Kids may need a gap year to be able to explore and see what they want to do. Explore different jobs and different opportunities and learn how to volunteer. That's how we can guide them into being successful adults.
Now, if you suspect your teen is under more pressure than they can handle, here are some signs to watch for. If they're feeling irritable, nervous, restless, or on edge, are worried, cry, or seem teary, they may need professional help. If they get headaches, stomach aches, muscle tension or pain, have a racing heart, feel dizzy, sweat, shake, or have shortness of breath, if they're having sleeping issues, changes in appetite, are withdrawing from activities, have trouble concentrating, or are engaging in risky behaviors, get them to the doctor. They'll know what to do and how to help.
Great package, Bob. Really like to see those young people so ambitious, but also trying to balance things out. Great lesson for all of us. So here's a nice view tonight, switching gears. Pretty night. We've got a few high clouds out there. It's been a really nice day. It was a little bit of a fall crisp in the air today. We had a pretty view here, big Cottonwood Creek, just gorgeous. Still the fall colors hanging on. Temperatures cooling off now here. We're mostly in the 50s around Salt Lake City, 52 in Ogden, and it's 48 degrees in Provo. A little warmer in southern Utah. We're at 68 degrees there in St. George and down to about 40 at Bryce Canyon. So temperatures tonight not as cold, especially with some of the high cloud cover that we got. We started off the morning at 40 degrees and we did get up to about 63, so it felt a little chilly, but that's actually about what it should be. Temperatures tomorrow will be slightly warmer for the next couple of days, and then we'll really cool off again on Monday and Tuesday. So tonight our forecast low temperature is about 44 degrees, so a little bit warmer by about 4 to 5 degrees than it was this morning there. So satellite picture, there's mainly high pressure around and our active weather is still very far away. So we've got a pretty nice weekend with increasing winds in the forecast ahead of our next trough. So here's the situation in the upper levels. You have high pressure here, which really keeps any active weather from moving in. But then this big old deep trough just takes its time and moves through Monday into Tuesday. So that will give us really cold air and very windy conditions. It's going to be one of the big concerns, and that'll be on Monday. So tomorrow we still have high pressure around. We have a little bit of an increase in clouds overnight. That should be out of here by tomorrow. And then we'll start to increase the clouds again and the wind late on Sunday. So we'll be looking for that. And that cold front is forecast to move through on Monday and then into Tuesday. And that's where we'll start to see that increase in precipitation. But very windy late Sunday and into Monday. So if you're putting out some Halloween decorations or doing some yard work, that's something to definitely consider. Wind gusts on Monday could be more than 40 miles per hour in a lot of locations, so that could be a problem. 44 degrees tonight. We do have partly cloudy skies, so for tonight, that's Friday and Saturday, and most of Sunday should be pretty mild. We'll be down to 49 degrees for tonight in St. George. Really nice day tomorrow in southern Utah. Almost picture perfect here with temperatures in the 60s, and Price will be in the 70s in Moab tomorrow. Nice day in Bullfrog at the marina at 78 degrees, and we'll be in the 60s here in Salt Lake again tomorrow. So about 80 to 81 all weekend here in southern Utah. We'll increase the winds on Sunday, and then that stays windy on Monday, and rain moves in for you on Tuesday. Knocks your temperatures down by about 20 degrees, so it's definitely going to feel different as we go back to work on Monday. Now in northern Utah, we have temperatures that'll be in the 60s. This should be 76, so we'll be at 76. That's wishful thinking at the 86 there. But we'll be at 76 on Sunday. And then our Halloween forecast is looking pretty good too. So the active weather moves in for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we have a nice forecast here for Halloween. We'll be right back.
It was another busy day on the campaign trail with just 11 days now until Election Day. Former President Donald Trump held a rally tonight in Traverse City, Michigan. Both he and Vice President Kamala Harris were also in Texas today. Mr. Trump delivered remarks on border security and migrant crime in Austin and also appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast. Vice President Kamala Harris held a rally in Houston tonight, which featured Beyonce. She also talked about abortion with a Texas lawmaker during her event. The CDC is now linking at least 75 E. coli cases to the McDonald's Quarter Pounder. That's up from 49 earlier in the week. 5 of those cases are in Utah. The outbreak has spread to at least 13 states in the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, and Midwest. The FDA announced yesterday it is calling onion supplier Taylor Farms as the source of the outbreak. In response, Taylor Farms has recalled 4 of its onion products. Burger King, Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut, along with McDonald's, have all pulled menu items with onions. Flags were lowered to half-staff in Maine today as that state marked 1 year since the mass shooting in Lewiston that left 18 people dead. The city held a memorial service at the time of the shooting. The family of the Army reservist who carried out the shooting is also renewing calls to action from the military. They're pushing for more research on brain injuries to service members. Coming up, a Fox 13 News exclusive. Hear from the man who went on Patriot walks in West Valley City near elementary school students. Why he's apologizing tonight. In an exclusive interview, the man seen carrying an assault rifle near a school bus stop in West Valley City is now apologizing to the community after parents say he's been scaring the children. Fox 13 News reporter Mark Blaine spoke with him.
They're crying when they go to school every day, so how can they get a good education?
I've been terrorizing this community for the last 3 years since I moved in.
Yes, he has been, just as he is saying that he's been terrorizing the community.
Michael Cawley interrupting neighbor Sophia Bordinko, who was talking to us about Cawley's recent behavior in their Sunset Hills neighborhood. She believes he took his regular Patriot walks in the area too far this week. She says the firearms he had on display upset children when he walked past the bus stop.
They're scared to go to the bus stop because they see someone parading around with a big gun strapped across their chest as well as a sidearm.
Cawley counters, saying his weapons aren't loaded and that since Utah is an open carry arms state, he has every right to show off his firearms in the neighborhood.
What I do with my walks, that has nothing to do with children, has nothing to do with anybody but my rights as an American.
Although Bordinko is skeptical, Cawley says he didn't intend to draw attention to his Patriot Walk earlier this week. He did issue an apology to the parents on camera.
I love this community, and you know what, let me apologize, because that was not my intent to scare people. And I even let some homeowners know that. You know what, my intent is just to do a Patriot Walk.
Apology and all, Cawley added he has no plans to discontinue his arm walks through the neighborhood, but he did say he'd avoid the bus stop in the future.
We have freedoms and rights in this country, and when you don't use your rights, they're like muscles. We lose our rights.
If you want people to understand the point of view that you're making, I think that you might be going about it the wrong way. Instead of supporting your issue, you have everyone coming against you.
From West Valley City, Mark Blaine, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Salt Lake police are warning of a scam using a deep fake video of Police Chief Mike Brown. They say someone in Woods Cross got an email from a fake SLC PD account saying they owe nearly $100,000 to the federal government. The department says it includes video from an old news interview and is convincing. But there are some signs the audio is manipulated, including unnatural speech patterns and edits you can hear between sentences. They're reminding people police emails have the domain slc.gov. This one came from a Google account. Salt Lake police have arrested 2 people wanted for an aggravated murder in Los Angeles. Police say they got information yesterday morning about a stolen car from Los Angeles registering on license plate reader technology in Salt Lake City. Officers found the suspects parked near 450 West, 600 North. Detectives booked 21-year-old Jasani Johnson and 20-year-old Winter Smith into the Salt Lake County Jail, where they're both being held without bail. Authorities in Los Angeles are working to bring them back to California to face aggravated robbery and murder charges. An officer at the Tooele County Detention Center has been arrested on accusations of kissing a female inmate and sexually touching them while on the job. 33-year-old Cody Allen Rutledge has been charged with 7 counts of custodial sexual misconduct. Court documents say this started in January 2022 and continued until March of last year. Rutledge is scheduled to make a court appearance November 12th. The search is on tonight for a missing Davis County Sheriff's Office canine. This is Cash right there. He was last seen running from their facility and might have been spotted in East Farmington earlier this week.
Right now, we think that there is a strong likelihood that somebody may have Cash at home with them and may not realize that he is actually a police canine. And so we are pleading with them to please come forward. No questions asked. We just want him returned safely so that he can continue his training.
If you spot Cash, call Davis County Sheriff's Dispatch.
A local theater in Kaysville is spreading hope one performance at a time. I'm Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Guppi here at the Hope Box Theater, where now they're stepping up to help one of their own during a difficult time. Meet Kendra Reese.
I actually love playing the bass because I can dance and play the bass.
She plays in a band with her partner, Ken. A couple months ago, she got to perform here at the Hope Box Theater during their production of Oliver.
That to me was a dream come true because I've always wanted to participate, and that was my chance to do it.
For every production at the Hope Box Theater in Kaysville,
this place is special. We come together and do something pretty miraculously.
A portion of ticket sales and all the funds raised by scanning this QR code or dropping cash in the box go to someone in the community battling cancer.
I can't tell you how many times I hear You have no idea what this means to our family.
Jan Williams has fought cancer 4 times. She founded Hope Box Theater.
We're trying to help people in our community that are battling this disease because everyone knows someone with cancer now. And so the way we can do it is we try to not only bring them on closing night, not only give them a night out with their families, but also we try to incorporate them into our show.
The recipients here are part of their Wall of Hope, and their name goes on a plaque in the lobby.
Every show has so much meaning in a different way, so I think it's really great. Like, all these names up here are just awesome people, and I feel very lucky to be a part of it.
While Kendra was rehearsing for Oliver,
the day after the first rehearsal is when I found out that I had breast cancer. And luckily it was caught early on. It was stage 2, so a lot of hope.
Even through chemo, Kendra was on stage with that bright smile.
She is one of those people that makes everything about someone else. And it feels so good to tell her, no, it's about you now. It's not about others. Just let us be there for you.
So her castmates nominated Kendra to be the Wall of Hope recipient for the Jekyll and Hyde production. So they cheer for her before every show.
Special K Strong!
Grateful for the help and love from her Hope Box family.
I've been the one that's been sitting in the audience watching the plays, and then I got to be in the production, and now I am a recipient. So yeah, full circle.
In Kaysville, I am Maithili Gobi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And we wish you the very best, Kendra. We'll be right back. In national news, President Biden was in Arizona today, where he visited the Gila River Indian community and issued an apology for the government's role in the hundreds of years of abuse of Native American boarding school students. The forced assimilation of Native American children led to thousands of them being taken from their families.
Lost generations, culture and language, lost trust. It's horribly, horribly wrong. It's a sin on our soul. I'd like to ask, with your permission, for a moment of silence, as we remember those lost and the generations living with that trauma.
Mr. Biden's formal apology is the first of its kind ever made by a U.S. president. Utah was home to at least 7 Indian boarding schools. In 2021, the bodies of 12 children in unmarked graves were found on the site of the Panguitch Boarding School. Intermountain School in Brigham City was the biggest and stayed open the longest. Our content sharing partners at the Salt Lake Tribune report that in 26 of Utah's 29 counties, 96% of voters cast their ballots by mail. If your mail-in ballot comes to you a little damaged, don't worry. Odds are your vote will still count, even if you need to tape it back together.
Utah state law does not require us to have a privacy tab on the return envelope. You're welcome, as always, to tape down that privacy tab if that makes you feel more comfortable. However, it being there or not being there does not whatsoever invalidate your ballot.
You can track your ballot at vote.utah.gov, and if there is an issue, the Salt Lake County Clerk says they'll send you a letter, call you on the phone, or text you.
And we have beautiful weather in store for this weekend. It all started off today. Our high temperature got up to 63 after starting off with a chilly low temperature of about 40 this morning. We'll take a look at your forecast for the weekend and talk about our upcoming storm after the break.
I'm Andrea Urban, and the Utah Jazz are back home tonight hosting Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Highlights on how they did in sports. And speaking of highlights, the high school football playoffs began tonight, and I managed to make it to 3 of them. So who survived to see another week? That's next in sports.
Not too bad out there tonight in terms of the temperature. What are we going to get over the weekend?
Yeah,
weather?
Really nice weather this weekend, and enjoy it because Monday things will change pretty rapidly. So we've had mostly clear skies in a few places and a few high clouds as well tonight. So with the high clouds that came in today, we had some really cool ice crystals out there. So you had some high cirrus clouds today, and on the edge of that, we got to see some sundogs here. There's one on each side of the sun that's visible in this picture. And a lot of people always ask about this. Well, does that mean that imminent weather or bad weather is coming? Not necessarily, but it does mean that there's more ice crystals in the atmosphere, and that's bending the light, and that's what we see. So today we just had a little bit of high cloud cover, but we'll see more active weather moving in a couple of days. So it's not necessarily foreboding as what's coming in the next 24 hours, which is not very much active weather at all. So for tonight and this weekend, we have really nice weather in the forecast. Temperatures this weekend will be in the 60s and 70s, so really comfortable stuff out there. Gusty winds will start moving in ahead of our system though on Sunday and especially Monday. So if you've got those Halloween decorations, that is going to be an issue for you. It's going to get really windy, and then the air will get really cold starting on Monday and especially Tuesday. Temperatures tonight are pretty moderate. It's 42 here in Bear Lake and 52 in Ogden. A little cool, but it won't be as cool as it was this morning. We're still in the 60s in St. George and 50s in Kanab tonight. Overnight, our low temperatures will go down to the lower to mid 40s. So this morning we got down to a low of about 40 degrees, so slightly warmer than that, so not as uncomfortable. We've had pretty quiet weather today all across the western United States. We've got a ridge of high pressure around, and with that, we're not expecting much action. So going through the weekend, you can see that bump here, that's our ridge, and then this big old U shape with this blue line, that's what we call a trough, and that'll be bringing us the really active weather starting on Monday, increasing the winds, and you'll really feel the cold air that's coming as well. So Futurecast shows we've got the high pressure, but there's some cloud cover tonight. That moves on out of here. Then we'll increase the clouds ahead of our system on Sunday and pick up the winds late Sunday night. And this cold front is what's going to move through late Sunday night and into Monday morning. It does have some moisture with it, but that won't really get into full effect until about Tuesday. Late Monday night and Tuesday is when you can expect the moisture. The cold air will start feeling on Monday, though. 44 here in Salt Lake City for the overnight. So again, pretty mild tonight. We've got partly cloudy skies. And in St. George, pretty clear tonight with temperatures in the 40s. About 80 tomorrow in southern Utah. Nice day for you. And we'll be up to 68 here in Salt Lake City with a sunshiny afternoon. So in St. George, you've got temperatures in the 80s, and then the wind kicks in on Monday, and then it gets a lot colder on Tuesday and into Wednesday. Halloween looks pretty good in southern Utah. Temperatures will be in the 60s here with lots of sunshine. And in northern Utah, we've got 60s on Saturday. Sunday, you have the temperatures in the 70s. There's the cooler air settling in on Monday with the wind, and then the rain mixing with snow on Tuesday and Wednesday. It moves out of here. Quick moving system, though. By Halloween, it's out of here. It's just a little bit chilly for trick-or-treating, and temperatures will be in the 50s. But a nice weekend forecast with big changes starting on Monday.
The Utah Jazz are back home tonight after falling short in the season opener on Wednesday versus the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's game 2 of 82. Utah hosting Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, who should be one of the best teams in the West this year. So let's go to the Delta Center, where less than 24 hours ago, ice was where the court was. All-star Lauri Markkanen starting the Jazz out with a 3, which led to Lauri sharing the ball with Keyonte George, and he's stepping up from behind the arc and draining the 3. Jazz were in front until the Warriors scored 8 straight, capped by this tying 3 by Steph Curry. It's 19 all. Now the Jazz are down by 10 in the second. Jordan Clarkson floats it home to try to keep Utah in this. Buddy Hield was the man for the Warriors tonight. He led both teams with 27 off the bench as he knocks down the long-range shot. And John Collins, well, he was the bright spot for Utah, coming off the bench and the team's leading scorer with just 14 as the Jazz drop another one at home, 127-86 the final. The first round of the high school football playoffs began tonight, 5A and 6A all across the state, and I managed to catch 3 of them for you, so let's head downtown to West High. Taylorsville visiting West, and you gotta win to stay alive. Late in the first quarter, West up 12-0. Isaiah Holly connects on the 24-yard pass with Nada Hamilton. Plus 2-point conversion by Hamilton, and it's 20-0 Panthers. Start of the second, West High's defense coming in hot. The blocked pass and tips into the hands of Nofu Hafoko. 22 yards to the house, extends the Panthers' lead. Now all phases were working for West. How about special teams this time? As Chachi Pan hops on his horse and he sees pay dirt. West High wins big, 68-14 over Taylorsville, and will move on to the second round. Now from west to east, the East High Leopards playing host to Skyline. It's 6-0 Leopards. And from the left corner of your screen there, Nazio Atikolo punches it in. The 6-yard touchdown gives East a 2-score lead. Missed PAT. Later in the second quarter, Skyline airs it out. And it's a bad day to be a football when Marcus Lurcher is around. He picks it off for East. And the Leopards weren't able to capitalize on that. But on the very next drive, Skyline again sends that pass, and Marcus Lurcher intercepting it, but this time for the pick six. He scored 2 more times in East's shutout win over Skyline, 39-0 the final from up on the hill. Cedar Valley visiting Woods Cross. Now this would be a nail biter in the end here. The Wildcats trying to get on the board early, but the ball is deflected and Brady Zabriskie intercepts it for Cedar Valley, and they settle for a field goal. It's 6-0 Aviators. And Cedar Valley is able to find the end zone when Landon Johnson lets it fly. Bridger Dastrup, that one-handed snag, and he's over the line. It's 13-0 Aviators at the break, but something must have been said during halftime that brought Woods Cross to life, because this drive led down the field by Viliami Tapatutai. He gives Woods Cross the first 2 points, their first points of the game. It's 13-6, and in that same quarter, Tapatutai back at it again, and that started what would be a great second half for the Wildcats. Woods Cross comes out on top, 35-27 over Cedar Valley, and then also game 1 of the World Series was tonight, 6-3. The final goes to the Dodgers in extra innings.
Yeah, and you can see game 2 tomorrow night on Fox 13.
Yes, but I had to get all that high school football stuff in first.
Of course. First pitch tomorrow night is at 6:08. Watch all the action on Fox 13. We'll be right back. Finally tonight, a viral piece of art that sent social media into an uproar when it sold for more than $100,000 is on sale again. This time, it's expected to fetch up to $1.5 million.
Oh, my goodness.
This banana duct taped to a wall is called Comedian. And yes, it's a real banana.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Auction. Why didn't I think of this?
Yeah, you have a lot more money.
Auction House Sotheby's said it's a conceptual artwork. I think that's code for really weird. And the physical materials are replaced with every installation. That means the winning bidder will get a roll of duct tape, a banana.
A new banana?
Yep, a new banana, a certificate of authenticity, and official instructions for installing the work. And believe me, you need instructions for this. The original artist is Maurizio Catalan, who's known for satirical pieces that challenge pop culture.
I'm just going to start taping fruit to things.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be millionaires.
Hopefully. Have a good night, everybody.